All right, we're taking a trip back in time, more than 30 years, to unpack a really provocative theory about the future. The man behind it claimed a secret script was being used to control everything. So, what was this script? And why do some people say it's more important now than ever? Let's get into it.
So let's set the scene. The year is 1992. Our central figure is a guy named Bill Cooper, who used to be on a naval intelligence briefing team before he became a pretty controversial radio host. And in this one interview, he lays out this chilling prediction about where the world was headed. And this was the bombshell. Cooper's claim was that a small, powerful group wasn't just nudging world events along. No, he said they were following a literal script. And get this, the script was supposedly the Book of Revelation itself, used to force a very specific outcome. So that's the big question we're tackling here. What exactly was this future he was warning everyone about? And why are we even talking about this decades-old theory today? Why do some sources insist we need to pay attention to it right now? Okay, first up, let's dive into the most dramatic piece of his whole prediction. What he claimed was an engineered, step-by-step path to creating a single government for the entire world. According to Cooper, the very first move on the chessboard was to set up a massive, catastrophic war. He believed it was designed from the ground up to be so horrific, so globally terrifying with the use of nuclear weapons, that it would literally break the spirit of the entire human race. And that was the whole point. See, it wasn't about one side winning. The goal, he claimed, was to create this universal feeling of absolute desperation. The idea was to traumatize the world's population so badly that they would accept any solution to stop the pain, no matter the cost. So here's the four-step playbook he laid out. Step 1, you engineer a crisis, a horrible war. Step 2, the public screams for peace. Step 3, the same people who started the crisis swoop in with the only solution, getting rid of individual countries. And step 4, the final result? A one-world government, built on a foundation of fear. But, okay, a plan needs planners, right? So who is this mysterious they that Cooper was talking about? And what did he really mean when he said the Book of Revelation was their script? Now, this is where his theory gets really specific. Cooper argued that it didn't even matter if the planners themselves believed a word of the prophecies. He said they were just using the book like a playbook, because they knew millions of people do believe in it. That way, they could make all these manufactured events seem like they were just destiny unfolding, instead of a deliberate man-made plan. And that's the million-dollar question in any theory like this, isn't it? Who is actually pulling the strings? Well, Cooper wasn't vague about it. He had a very specific answer. He was really adamant on this point. He said, look, it's not any one race or religion. He claimed the group was this secret international network. He called them men from ancient mystery schools, who were from all different races and nationalities, operating completely outside of those lines. So if a group like this really existed, how on earth would they keep the public from figuring it all out? Cooper zeroed in on two main tools: controlling the flow of information and using mass entertainment as a weapon of distraction. Think about this for a second. All the way back in 1992, Cooper was making this claim about media ownership. He argued that if you can get just a handful of companies to control almost everything people see and hear, you can shape one single story and quietly bury anything that goes against it. And the sources we're looking at today argue that this trend has only accelerated. I mean, just look at this one example. You can trace the ownership of a huge outlet like CNN up through Warner Bros. Discovery, deals with Paramount, acquisitions by Skydance, and you pretty quickly end up in a very, very small circle of incredibly powerful people. But controlling the news, he said, wasn't enough. The other major tool was distraction. He had a great name for it: the Roman circus. He was talking about using things like professional sports to get everybody emotionally wrapped up in cheering for their team, things that at the end of the day don't really affect their actual lives or the halls of power. And hey, this is not a new concept. The Roman poet Juvenal was writing about this almost 2,000 years ago. The idea is simple, and it's timeless. If you keep a population fed and endlessly entertained, they're a lot easier to govern and a lot less likely to ask tough questions. So, what was this all for? What was the ultimate endgame? According to Cooper, it wasn't just about money or global control. The final goal he described was, well, it was something much bigger, something almost divine. This part is pretty wild.
Over 30 years ago, Cooper claimed this elite group would eventually try to use technology to become immortal. And what might have sounded like total science fiction in 1992, well, just look at the headlines today. We've got Neuralink putting chips in human brains, top universities working on reversing aging, and companies racing to build human-level AI.
Put simply, the ultimate prize, the real end goal Cooper described, was to break the rules of being human, to use technology to achieve a kind of godhood, creating what he called a super race that could essentially live forever. Okay, so after laying out this incredibly dark vision for the future, Cooper didn't just leave it at that. He actually offered a countermove, a way he believed that ordinary people could throw a wrench in the whole machine.
And here's the most surprising part of his entire message. He basically said, don't believe me. In fact, he said, don't believe anybody. He pushed people to be radically skeptical of everything, including his own story, until they went out and did the hard work of finding proof for themselves.
So his call to action was all about taking personal responsibility. First, educate yourself. Second, share what you learn with the people closest to you. And finally, take that knowledge and turn it into action. Get involved, participate, use your vote. And he boiled this whole idea down into one simple but really powerful analogy, basically asking a direct question to anyone who feels unhappy with the way things are but isn't doing anything about it. And this is the thought we'll leave you with. Cooper's final warning really wasn't about some secret group. It was about the danger of us, the public, just checking out. His point was, if you give up your role in cooking the meal, in shaping society, then you lose any right to complain about what you're served. You just have to sit down and eat whatever is put on your plate.